morning, everyone. I'm certainly the last speaker between you and your tea, so I would not be dragging and talking a lot about a lot of discussions and deliberations in the last year, which we, as my agency in the U.S. government, U.S. Trade and Development Agency, has been fortunate to be part of taking some lead role. But I must begin by welcoming the dignitaries on the dais, the very important Government of India stakeholders. Very proud to have representative of the U.S. firm who gave a very knowledgeable presentation about some of the capabilities, but I would say a very minor glimpse of what is the real potential of partnership between the two countries as we are deliberating on the word smart city in the last couple of months. And I must thank the organizers, Let's Technomedia Private Limited, a very ambitious team who reached out to us last month to say, we would want you to come to our conference to talk about some more smart city deliberations. So really congratulations to you for doing this again. And more of the private sector, the citizens, the state governments, and honestly, the citizens of India, and all of us looking from the periphery of how we can partner more and bring more partnership opportunities which can help India have more and more. For example, in the economic growth and expanding two-way trade and investment. And one of the panel members from DIPP talked about how more and more investments and trade partnerships are being looked at. My agency per se has been, along with a lot of other US government, working in a lot of clean energy work and activities, and bringing in small demonstrations and some catalytic ideas, which probably India can take as an example to mitigate the effects of global climate change. Helping with the raising standards of living throughout smart development, it's not only about elite, it's about everyone. So unless everyone is part of this effort, it's not going to see success. And then, of course, infrastructure and smart city, especially in the new regime of Prime Minister Modi, the way it has become a very, very active face of how cities are going to look at their next phase of development. So we see a tremendous opportunity which is going to catalyze between both US and India, and we believe that smart cities are going to breed success. That's the reason I'm here today to also talk to you a little bit about our effort, which we are going to bring forward, which we have developed till now with some framework in dialogue with Ministry of Urban Development, with the center with whom we have a dialogue continuously, but also with the state governments. And I must add a lot with the Indian private sector, which will become also one of the key players in this to take this to the next level. Smart cities is not an end goal, it's an ongoing process. A city smart today cannot be smart tomorrow. So we'll have to look at the discussions, and I was looking at a very impressive panel of experts who are going to sit in the deliberations throughout the day and talk about how some of these changes are going to come forward. Certainly in our government, it's increasingly taking a lot of, stage of how we are going to partner and bring in a broader collaboration of infrastructure platform, because smart cities are not going to develop in silos. It has to be the infrastructure of the whole area, the whole country, the whole region which we are talking about. And when they are connected properly, it's not only about ICT. What we are looking here is sustainable transportation, clean energy, clean water, security, safety. A woman walking on the road of Delhi should feel very safe. So it's an overall program which we are looking at. And certainly from our perspective, US companies have been working in India already for the last so many years, but see more opportunity as this 2 trillion infrastructure need which has been laid in front of all of us. So we have a role which was given to us during President Obama's visit to take lead in the 3 states with the 3 cities, Vizag, Ajmer, and Allahabad, which were identified. And what we are not going to, I don't think it works in the interest of anyone to bring in retrofit models from US to be replicated in India. The models or the planning or the structure which we have to discuss has to be worked with the needs and the requirements of the states, the cities, and of India in total. So what we are currently looking at, my agency, before I delve a little further and talk about USTDA, typically I would do a PPT, but I thought, this is the inaugural session. I'm not sure what kind of timelines we would be looking at. But we are looking at physical infrastructure as well as IT infrastructure to make systems managing traffic, water, energy more efficient in communication with its citizens more accessible and transparent. So this has been the basic guideline of a lot of work which my agency does, and USTDA funds project planning and partnership building activities in India and in all emerging markets. So I must say that the work which India has pioneered in the last 1 year almost on smart cities and the last 6-7 months have been extremely active, can absolutely be complemented because other countries, other nations have already started looking at India model to see what is India doing. And I must say Turkey, my counterpart in Turkey is certainly looking at what are you guys doing in India? What is really going on? So it is not only about intrinsically what's going on in India, but this whole effort is also being visualized by everyone else. So we have been working for the last 3 decades in India in the infrastructure planning effort. So I have a funding availability. Is that ringer going for me? Sorry. So we have been working on clean energy, transportation, safety, security, telecommunications, and we have sponsored over 125 plus priority projects. The priorities are not really identified by us. The priorities are identified by you. What are your needs and where is it that we can bring in a catalytic role? The priorities are not only identified, me being a government agency, for me by the government. The priority is also identified to us by our industry, US industry, but also with the Indian private sector. So we are looking at win-win scenario for India and US and sustainable development outcomes, which have really resulted in a lot of positive stories which we can proudly tell today. We bring public and private sector partners together, and we have established unique cooperation programs. So, as Mr. Ranjan was talking about, till now there were some other flavors in which we were working, and USTDA has pioneered to work in the 2 cooperation programs which have shown immense success in India. These partnerships with the government and the private sector holding stakeholders are the US-India Aviation Cooperation Program, in which we have done significant work in bringing in some of those unique niche technology areas which India needs for its aviation growth, as it is committed to become one of the largest civil aviation players in the market in the next decade or so. And with the prior organization, which Mr. Ranjan now is representing, Planning Commission, which was very active on the energy front, we established a US-India Energy Cooperation Program. Now, these programs are not only talking about dialogues between the 2 countries, which we can have in closed rooms, but also involving industry from both sides and bringing in some catalytic projects, workshops, conferences, summits, where the deliberations are held, and then those deliberations are fed into the next level or the phase of investment or funding which my agency can bring in. One example you must have read from the aviation portfolio I can give you, which will significantly see an implementation in the smart cities. It's a high technology area where we worked with India almost 12 years ago on the Gagan program, which is the GPS-aided geo-augmented navigation system. Now India has recently become one of the first countries to deploy this system, which provides for increased accuracy, availability, and continuity of air navigation data for use in commercial flights. And Gagan's implementation, which has benefits that can extend beyond aviation. The way this satellite navigation is going to help is actually going to affect each one of our lives. I'm sure a lot of you are using Google Maps these days. I'm certainly using it. And, traveling in the interiors of India also, satellite navigation is helping. So there's a lot of work which is going on, and, we hope to see more and more of these activities clubbing together to help achieve this goal, because it is not one goal, it is not one project, it is not one idea. It has to be an amalgamation and a proper identification and amalgamation of different sectors, different areas which we are going to work together. Another project which, for an example for all of you to understand the kind of activities which we are working on besides the Smart Cities work, is helping with a pilot project on the body scanner technology at the airports, which will bring in some better efficiency in frisking of the passengers and help with the Indian clothing. So this project has been developed not only from what the model exists at the airports in US, but how Indian clothings, which are very different, these systems can be tweaked to help. We're also working in the sector of rail. And again, we see that as one of the important elements of freight corridors coming up in the smart city work, because again, all these smart city efforts have to be better transportation, better connectivity in the region where we are talking about. Certainly health, education, water, energy, sanitation remain the need, but then also you need economic development for people to continue to live in the city and sustain themselves. And then, of course, one of our very pioneering effort, I would say, has been in the area of energy. And if some of you, because this event is happening in Delhi, I can say if some of you live in West Delhi and have been the customers of Tata Power New Delhi. Tata Power New Delhi has been working with USTDA for the last 12, 13 plus years now. And some of the studies which we could work with them have helped them implement the results of those and bring down the losses from 43% to 11%. I don't live in West Delhi, so I don't know, but certainly a very good friend, CEO of Tata Power, tells me that there are no power losses in that. These are critical elements even when you start looking at sustainable city development. Because if you're looking for an efficient hospital, and if you don't have 24/7 power supply uninterrupted, how will you go to the next step? So with these examples, what we have, what we are planning to do in the near future, or I would say a lot of the roadmap has already been laid. We have been trying to speed ourselves up to the work. During President Obama's visit in January, my agency director signed 3 MOUs with the 3 state governments, which were announced or which were given to us by the Ministry of Urban Development or the Government of India. These were Rajasthan, and the city selected, city selected was Ajmer, Allahabad, and Vizag. And under these agreements, what we plan to do is sponsor activities that will help each city develop safe, efficient, and integrated transportation, energy, and communication infrastructure. In the near future, which is the fall of 2015 and summer of 2016, we plan to host some visits of the key stakeholders from these states, the center, and other players in these cities to US to showcase them. And I think the NetApp representative gave a very good example of what is going on. But that's one of the many things we would like to deliberate during these missions, which we call reverse trade missions, which we would be hosting. And we are also working on capacity building and how we can help bring in the experts from US at cost to ourselves and at actually no cost to the city and state administrations or the Indian private stakeholders, to see how these examples were done in US and how we will start emulating some of those models in India. We have started working on the planning of master advisory services of the 3 cities. But I must also add that we are not limited to these 3 cities, of course. These 3 cities where we have assigned partnerships, but we are looking at each and every city or state or any other player who is interested to bring in a change first and demonstrate it in their region, and that becomes a showcase for others to follow. Certainly a very sustainable model, because smart cities cannot be smart until and unless they are sustainable. So in conclusion, I must say that we have a lot of efforts which we are planning to bring up, and we continue to discuss and deliberate with you, along with you, the ideas, small pilots, small activities, but which have a catalytic element built into it, which will bring in those models of change. And we must congratulate Government of India for its ambitious smart city initiative. We are also a little, we are watching this, that a lot will also depend when the projects will be rolled out, because we are still looking at some of the successful implementation capabilities of how the financing will come. That's also something which, we are wanting to observe and also be part of it, of where, how are the funds going to come to help these, because when the industry comes and talks to us, they have a similar question to us, that how am I going to actually go out and roll out and implement it? You are only going to provide us catalytic funds to it. So we mean, at the end, I would say that this all means setting priorities through the lens of sustainable innovation, which can have some frugal innovation also built into it, and emphasizing the need to focus on a continuous process of engagement with government, with citizens, and with industry. And we look forward to this continuous engagement. I must thank once again the organizers for having me over here, and hopefully work with all of you to take the Smart City program forward. Thank you.